we are back. It is Street Widows podcast where we heal in public so those healing in private can keep going. Y'all know what it is. We have learned that we cannot fool with elevated goodies on camera. It has to be before the camera rolls in a minimum amount, and then we have to do something a little lighter because, we be toe up. But for Christmas and Thanksgiving, make sure that y'all get y'all elevated goodies. Trisha Smitty, check her out. She's got all the candy. She sent us with Oops All Berries, Hershey Kiss, cookies, all type of fire stuff. So y'all make sure that y'all check her out. Today is an OG day, okay? So I told y'all I moved back to Louisville, so we in the house with it. We at the crib. And I got OGs, the Street Widow podcast, the very first. This is the same lineup from the very first episode. Yes. So we got Misha to the right, Kelly Bundy LLC. Y'all know all of the things. And Jack of all trades, let me say. And then, did I say to the left, to the right? I've been drinking. See? Yeah, get y'all elevated goodies. To the right, we got Misha. I don't know if I said it right originally or not. And then to the left, we got Cheryl, another Street Widow OG in the game. Yes. And y'all know from, if y'all are faithful watchers, right, from the first episode, that Cheryl lost her husband in a work accident. But she has supported the podcast, been here from day one, and so she's our honorary Street Widow. She is a widow. She's our honorary Street Widow. Don't get it confused, okay? This is a safe space for all grief, and we welcome anyone here in our space. So, y'all, we was talking before, and we're just going to pick up the conversation. This is so organic. Cheryl was giving us advice, right? Because she's been in this widow game for a long time and was widowed at a young age. And so she has lived life and has these experiences. And, women just dealing with men, period. We was talking about how, like, we didn't appreciate things about our husbands, and how we wish we was more appreciative of the small things, and then being in a space of, like, thinking about love after loss or what that looks like for you. Even if you're not, like, in that space, you think about it. Let's be real, right? Like, not the first, but maybe the second or third thought is, oh my God, I'm gonna be by myself forever. Or, oh my God, like, what does this look like? Like, what is my life now without this person? So let's start there. When you first sat down to think, like, what is next, or what does this look like for me, what was your first thoughts? Because mine was like, I'm just gonna be by myself forever with these kids, and once my kids graduate, I'll find a man then, like, I'll have me a man then. And now my whole perspective on that has changed. So, like, what was that like for y'all? And I'm gonna start with Cheryl, because Misha is in a whole different space with everything being fresh again for her. So let's start with Cheryl. What, like, when you first had that thought of relationship after, what was you thinking? What did you think that looked like for you?
It was a scary thought. It took me a while. Let me just say that. It took me a while after my husband, after he passed, because I pretty much redirected my focus toward my career. And I ran away from that grief process, which came back later to haunt me. And then after that, I just did not work. I just totally focused on the kids. So in that process of that, I did end up meeting a wonderful, wonderful young man. And this probably, I think it may have been 2 years or so later after my husband died. I started dating him. We had a very great relationship. It was wonderful, our communication. We dated for maybe 3 years. So, and it was different, getting to know, someone else, and, their dynamics, their communication and everything. So for me, it took a while, but when I found that person, it was a good thing. Like I said, it was 3 years that we dated, and then we broke You know, we broke apart. But we we made ourselves a promise that I told him, I said, you would always be a part of my life because you taught me how to love again. And you loved me when I didn't even love myself.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it takes a moment. For me, anyways.
Had he met your kids before y'all broke up?
It took him a while to meet the kids.
So when y'all broke up, like, how did that impact your kids? Like, what was that? Did y'all ever live together?
No, we did not live together.
So they knew him, but maybe they weren't, like, super attached.
Correct. Because actually, we were doing a long-distance relationship, him and I. So, no, we never lived together. But, like, when he came in town, you know, of course, the kids saw him. Mm-hmm. And then it was like, he used to come in town, and I was like, because my house has an upstairs and downstairs. So I was like, okay, look, you have to sleep in the guest bedroom. But when they go to sleep, you know what I'm saying? Are you going to come upstairs when we come downstairs?
Grown up time.
So it was like, you know, we did that. But then I would never, ever forget. It was like one night he came up to my room and we fell asleep. And my son, he was about, I guess, 6 or something like that. Because he came in the room and he was like, and then he goes running to my other son's room. He was like, he's in mommy's bed. And I'm trying to wake him up like, you know, so it was kind of like a shock because they had never seen anybody in my bed, mm-hmm. you know, so, and I mean, and it's like at that point, like I said, thank God he had his sweatpants on because we had just like fell asleep, whatever. So I'm like calling him back in my room and I'm like trying to, you know, clear it up. I'm like, no, we was looking at TV and we fell asleep, you know.
Your kids probably look back on that now like, okay, mommy.
Ooh, but yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it takes, you know, everybody is different. Let me just say that because a close friend of mine's, like, she was married to a, you know, really, really close person to me. And like when he died, she started dating someone else right away. And they were
Did it make you feel away? Because you was close to the person she loved?
No, because I understand everybody is different. Some people cannot be alone. Mm-hmm. You know, some people they can't. So they always have to have somebody. Mm-hmm. You know, so, and I have friends that are single and never has married. And it was like soon as they are done with the relationship, they're bouncing to another relationship. You know, so and I told my friend, and I'm like, you need to stop because it's like you are looking for a Captain Saber hole, so you're going from this hole to this hole to the next hole. Mm-hmm. It's like you gotta hold up, you know, give yourself time. You know, so yeah, she actually and his family had a problem with it. Mm-hmm. Because they felt like, how can she be with somebody else when they was married all these years and now she got a boyfriend? And my son is not even in his grave good yet. And now she's got this man. Mm-hmm. But, you know, like I told his mom, and I'm like, everyone is different. And she's one of those type of people. She cannot be by herself. Mm-hmm. She is so used to having, you know, a man in her life. So everyone's different.
You know, my therapist told me, she's like, you can... won't, how did she put it to me? She's like, because I asked her, I'm like, why do I crave companionship? Like, why is it that I can't just like shut that part of me off and not feel like, you know, because I was explaining to her, like, I just feel like I haven't met the person who would be like my husband. If I was to get remarried, I've not met that person. I'm not even in rooms with that person yet. Mm-hmm. I still have more growing and elevating to do. So why is it that I feel like right now I want somebody in the right now? Why can't I just wait? You know, like, why is that desire in me? It's just like, you laid next to somebody every day for 8-9 years of your life. Yes. Why do you think that you wouldn't?
You're missing
yes.
that.
Yeah, yes. You're missing that. Yes. Why would you think that you wouldn't miss that? And she reframed the way that I think about, like, you know, just when I lay down in bed by myself at night, like, I really wish I had this though. You know, like she changed the way that I think about that.
Woo. Yes.
Yeah. This is what I'm doing, but this is what I wish I was doing.
Okay, Trisha Smitty.
But
That's why I tell y'all, it's like I want you guys to take time for yourself, but I don't want you to take too much time.
Mm-hmm.
I want y'all to get back out there on the dating scene. I don't want y'all to be like me on that aspect. You know, I've been widowed for 27 years. I want somebody in my life. I want to remarry. I welcome love. You know, like she said, you don't have somebody laying next to you for all of these years.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, girl, I can't wait to wake up and feel a human mallet tapping me on my back. It's like, come on. You know? It's like, you know, that's why I tell you guys, it's like, you know, take your time, get yourself together, you know, cleanse your spirit, but be open to dating someone else. And you can't compare that new person to your old person.
Struggling with that.
You cannot do that because every individual is different. You cannot do that.
But it's so hard, and I don't want to go down a rabbit hole, right? Because I want to get Misha's take on where she's at. But I feel like it's hard not to compare because, like, for me, my experience was that I had this person who came and set this bar so high that it's like, if it's just a little bit short,
That's okay. But if it's too down.
no, I feel like even a little bit short ain't okay.
Okay.
I feel like it has to be that or it has to be better. Because if not, then I feel like I'm going backwards. And maybe like that's not right because that's comparing that person to this person, right? To this person's best or whatever. But I feel like mentally, I'm like, I'm going backwards. But what my therapist is telling me is like, you're starting over with, like, this is a new person. So you can't, how you feel like you're going backwards and this is something from scratch? I don't know, y'all. I'm in a weird space. It's weird for me. Misha, how do you feel? Because you've been here, this is your second go around. So, of just like, you know, experiencing loss and having to grieve and then accepting somebody or allowing somebody into your space when you carry this grief. How do you feel in this moment about being with somebody after Corey? What does that look like? How do you feel about that?
I am a love person, period. If I could experience love 100 times in this lifetime, I would.
And that would be a blessing.
I would. Yes. But I'm going to tell you what.
Wait.
People are different because when I say there are people lined up like, ooh, are you looking for your next husband yet? Are you ready to get married again?
So let's pull our cards. Since I'm obviously elevated.
She cannot get elevated no more before.
No more. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
What's your favorite memory of the person?
What's your favorite memory of Corey?
My favorite memory of Corey is so many good ones.
I knew it's what you was gonna say. It's hard that you wanted. Y'all was good. If y'all follow her on social media, I never noticed they was goofy. Always playing, pranking, dancing. I comment on the video. I said, "Yeah, Corey's me trying to learn that to me a line dance because I couldn't get that little cross."
I always knew we had so many memories and things like that. But you know, we really most of the time be in the moment. We don't stop and record as much as we should, or as much as we said we should have before. But what we did capture was so full and so just, I don't know, it was just something that people could look forward to seeing if they was even watching TV, because it's that good. It's like, I don't see a black family being real. I don't see people, every day where because the boyfriends now today, they be like, oh, I ain't taking care of somebody else's kids. Oh, he's a sucker. They don't believe in, hey, I'm going to pick up the slack. I'm going to marry this woman. I'm going to make her mine. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to break generational curses. So, yeah, my favorite memory of, my favorite memory of Corey is, I got so many. I hate it. I mean, I love it.
Sound like it's his character. Your favorite memory of him is the type of man that he was. That's what it sounds like.
Now I got some actual favorite memories, like him getting me to get on the ride. I don't ride rides, if you know me.
The slingshot thing?
Yeah, I don't do rides. I'm a heights person. I don't play that. But him getting me to get on that, I like that video. I also like, when we were at Legoland with the kids, and him and who I used to call my son Jamie, they were hanging off the pole, like trying to see who can hold on to the pole the longest. They did that. I got a video of that. Like, I got so many favorite memories. Us just being at Tybee Allen and having a good time running up the beach with the kids, playing our own version of football. And I say our own version because it was more like street football. Hey, we was tackling each other. I was all bruised up on my legs and stuff. But this, I got so many good memories. We had fun. And we was crazy. And we were very crazy.
Crazy fun come with crazy.
Look, my favorite memory of Corey.
I told her. Got her. Tell it.
Tell your favorite, girl.
Yes, it was so funny when I had first met him. When Misha, he was coming to get her, and I just come running out the door, and I was like, "Hey, I love you!" And I hugged him real tight, and he's looking like, "Who is this?" He's looking at her. He's looking over at Misha. He's patting on my back. He's like, "Okay, she's a hugger." I was like, "Oh my God, I love you. I've heard so much about you. I love you." And he's like, "Okay."
What you done told this lady? That's so
He was so sweet about it, though. He was like, okay.
Well, and after we gone, memories is what people have to hold on to. So that's even a reminder for us, like in our daily life, to just enjoy, be present in the moment, so we create memories. You know, like, for sure. Okay, my turn. I'm just gonna pull off the top. Have you ever felt that you had to hide your grief? Not really, because I feel like what you get is what you get with me. Like, and I'm so emotional that it's hard for me to hide my emotions. I have to be very strategic about that. I feel like what I feel reads on my face. If I don't like you, I don't like, I just think what you see is what you get. So I don't feel like I've ever had to hide my grief. Even with my kids, like, I'll cry in front of my kids. They're like, "Mama, what's wrong?" I'm like, "I miss your daddy." Do you miss your daddy? Because I from you, I have like taken that, like, don't feel like you gotta hide from your kids. Like, let them see that so they know that that's okay. So no, I don't feel like I have to hide my grief at all.
You want too many edibles because you just totally skipped me. You know that? I'm just gonna.
No,
Me too, though.
For
oh,
real?
no, you talking in the chorus, yeah.
Yes, in the cards, yes.
I thought you just went.
No, ma'am.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm off too.
Yes.
Elevated goodie.
Right. As y'all can see, we do all of this. We laugh together, we cry together, we pray together. This is what sisterhood is about.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, let me see. Wow. Okay. What's one thing you never got to say to your person while they were with you? The one thing I never got to say. I really can't think of anything that I never got to say. You know, it's like you just want to say over and over and over that I love you, I love you, I love you. You know? So everything, I said everything to him. I said I love you a million times. I told him a million times how much I appreciated him. I told him a million times how much that I am blessed for him being in my life and, being my best friend, my business partner, dealing with my bullshit, spoiling me rotten. Because, my family can tell you, it's like my husband had me spoiled. I was spoiled. So, it's like, and I always, would tell him how much, I appreciate him. Even the times when he cussed me out. But I think I was pretty much able to say everything to him that, the one thing that you never got to say to your person while they were with you. So I think I told him everything, even to the moment when he took his last breath, when I just told him, just don't go. But that was not for me to, that was not our will. That was God's thing. But he heard me say it, so I said everything to him.
Which is beautiful. And yeah, Misha had, when we did a different session, she said the same thing.
Really?
And I feel that too. Like my husband and I had started going to therapy together. And so I feel like I'm so grateful for those times because it's so much that we said in therapy that we probably wouldn't have been intentional with voicing before. And I love that. It makes it gives closure. It makes for an easier closure when you don't feel like there's anything unresolved or not said.
And the one thing that made me feel good too, because like we were saying earlier with me being in the music business, at first my husband was not supportive of that. So let me just say that. He did not like that, because I was on the road a lot. And then it was like all of a sudden we getting these huge checks. So my husband, when he got that FedEx envelope, and he opened up this envelope and he see this check, like $20,000, he's like, I don't know what your ass is doing, but it better be legal. So I'm like, it is. So my husband went with me to a music function, and he never, like I said, he was never ever supportive. So he went with me, and when he was able to see me to get awards and seeing the look on my husband's face, and that was the first time that he said, I'm so proud of you. And I was like, wow. He was like, all of this that you've been doing in the music, he was like, people are coming up to me like, man, that's your wife. Like, yo, let me tell you what she did. She did this with her project. He was like, I didn't realize all of this time what you was doing. He was like, damn. He was like, I'm kind of feeling bad because they knew my wife was the shit, but I didn't know he was the shit. Mm-hmm. He's like, now I know my wife's the shit. Mm-hmm. He's like, damn, babe, I'm proud of you. And that broke me down. Mm-hmm. I just cried. I was like, wow. And I was like, now you see all the stuff that I've been doing. I ain't just been running these streets, like I'm actually out here working, So yeah, so I think that was the thing that comforted me as well. I think we both told each other everything that, we needed to tell one another.
Yeah, that's dope that you had that moment before he came.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's I think about the things that were said and how I would feel if he left me with them being unsaid. Mm-hmm. So I can see that, if y'all never had that moment.
Yes.
And then you had to live that moment without him. Yes. Of that award, and we've talked about that before.
Yes,
on the podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, for sure. Y'all be toe up on podcast.
What has been the most rewarding throughout this process? being able to see that I didn't give up. So the ambience, the ambition, the strength, the willpower, the strong mind, all of that, I'm very thankful for that. It's been very rewarding.
I feel like that's a good question for us to end on because we're about out of time.
Okay.
For our Straight Widows podcast episode this go round, I feel like what's been most rewarding for me is being a mommy.
I ain't mad at that.
Yeah, I think it's knowing, now I know that I can. And like, I never doubted, I feel like I have doubted myself, but in the back of my mind, I know that I'm going to do like what it takes. But I think being put in a situation where I'm forced to do it, it's like, I might cry about it, I might complain about it, but I get up every day and I do it, and I do it to the best of my ability, to the best that I can.
Yes.
And I know that like our children will all have to heal from our parenting. There will be something about your parenting, about your life, that your children have to heal from. But for me, knowing that I did the best that I can, knowing that I sought out resources for my children, for myself, to help me to be the best parent that I can be, that is what has been the most rewarding for me. Looking back on the growth, the progress, like,
Yes.
dang, I was there and now I'm here. Like, yeah, you go, girl. That's right. Yeah, that's what I love. What about you, Cheryl?
The most rewarding thing for me, like you said, is about the kids. And because when my husband died, my boys were 5 and 11. And now my boys they're grown, they're grown men. And for them to say, Mom, that we're proud of you, that, the way that you have raised us, because it was like, we didn't miss a beat. I made sure they didn't. Like I said, I was spoiled. When I wanted that big house, out there in the suburbs, that 3,500 square foot home, my husband made sure I got that home. When I had my boys in private school, I had them in private school, and I made sure they didn't miss a beat. So for the kids to come to you when they are grown to say, Mom, we made it, and, we know it wasn't always easy for you without Dad, being here. But you did it, and you did it by yourself. That is the most rewarding thing when your kids, when they are able to acknowledge that, to acknowledge you for that.
And I'm sure that you have experience, because your kids are older. Like, my kids don't really, they, maybe a little bit. But I feel like you may have had, like, that full circle moment with your kids.
I always do, because we always pray and, spend most of our days and stuff together. Because, my kids are older, but they're still younger than Miss Cheryl's kids. And I know at this age is when, I either like my mom.
Kids are your age. My kids are about older than you.
Yeah, because I'm only 21.
Yeah.
But all in all, I know that, like, us being as close as we are, they feel very appreciative. Like, they're happy that I'm their mom, and that's rewarding.
And on that note, anybody got any last words?
Seek therapy if you feel like you need it. If you're having mental issues, there's always someone else that you can talk to that won't judge you.
Amen to that. Any
Yes.
last words for you, Cheryl?
Well, just like my girl said, therapy is great, but some people still have that stigma, about therapy. If so, you always have sisterhood, here. No judgment. We've all had our moments. And like I said earlier, here with my sisters here, I mean, we're on the phone, we can laugh, we can pray, we cry together. This is like sisterhood. This is our safe space. So if anybody, if you're there, if you're going through anything, definitely, reach out. Family therapy. Your new sister's here. We're here for you.
This is a safe space. That's the purpose, and that's what it will always be, especially for those who feel the stigmatization of grief, and maybe you feel that your grief isn't acknowledged, or people are not as sympathetic toward you because of the way you lost your person, or the reason you lost your person, or anything, like, any of those things. This is a safe space for that. So y'all, it is Street Widows Podcast, another one down of the Widow Talk. We're here with the OGs, and y'all already know what it is. Y'all see more of us. Peace.